Now you've seen me work a couple lesson videos now on finding the representations of linear relationships. However, on your upcoming assignment, you're going to be asked to do a little bit more of the legwork in finding these representations. So that's what this example video is for. Now on your homework assignment, you're going to be given a worksheet that looks exactly like this, except obviously the context is different. So this is going to be an example of how to do the first part of your assignment. So let's take a look at the context. It says the number of students currently enrolled at Discovery Place Preschool is 24. Enrollment is going up by 6 students each year. Consider the relationship between the number of years from now and the number of students enrolled. Okay, so we're asked to take this context and use it to create the table, a graph, and an equation. Now you'll notice this time the table is completely blank. It doesn't give you any numbers or any labels to start with. And the graph is also completely blank. No labels at all. So, like I said, a little bit more legwork, but nothing we can't handle. So first of all, let's work on the table. It's the easiest to start with. We need to know what to label these two columns. Now, the last sentence tells me the two units that I'm comparing. I'm comparing the number of years from now, and I'm comparing the number of students enrolled. Okay, so I'm going to put the number of years from now. Anytime you are given like a unit of time, like years or seconds or minutes or hours or days or weeks, that's always going to be your X variable. Okay, so we're going to label this number of years. And then we're comparing that with our Y column, which is the number of students enrolled. Number of students. Okay, once again, the unit of time is always going to be an X variable, and then Y is usually like a total of some kind. So the total number of students is going to be our Y value. Now let's see if we can fill in this table. Now we don't have any numbers to start with for X, so we're going to choose numbers ourselves. So let's start with 0 and just go up by ones. It doesn't matter what numbers you choose, but I like to choose these low numbers because they're easiest to calculate, right? Okay, so let's fill in our Y column now. So after 0 years have passed, how many students are at Discovery Place Preschool? Well, so in other words, at 0 years, we want to know how many they start with. So it says the number of students currently enrolled, so the number they start with is 24. Okay. Then how many students will they have after 1 year? Well, it says they start with 24 and enrollment is going up by 6 students each year. So we start with 24 students and we're adding 6 students after 1 year. So 24 plus 6 gives me 30. So after 1 year there will be 30 students. How many students will there be after 2 years? Well, we start with 24 and then we're adding 6 each year. So adding 6, and it's been 2 years. So 6 times 2 is 12. So we have 12 new students after 2 years, plus the 24 that we started with, gives me 36. Okay, here's our pattern going, right? So how many students will there be after 3 years? We start with 24 and we add 6 per year. So there's 18 new students this year, plus the 24 we started with, gives me 42. Next one, after 4 years, so we started with 24 and we're adding 6 per year. So this time, after 4 years, we've added 24 new students, plus the 24 we started with. So we're now up to 48. Then after 5 years, once again, we start with 24 plus the 6 new students per year. So after 5 years, we have 30 new students, plus the 24 we started with, gets us up to 54. Okay, so we filled in this table all by ourselves. That feels so good. Okay, now to do the equation. Or sorry, well, let's do the equation. So, sorry, I've got to get my pen back. Let's do the equation. Remember, the equation stems from the pattern that I was following to find my y column. So we start with y, which represents the total number of students at the daycare, or sorry, the preschool, and the total number of students is equal to the 24 we started with. Remember, that's the initial value, plus 6 students added per year. Now, each year is represented by the variable x, so 6x. So we can see that pattern right here, 24 plus 6x, 24 plus 6x. Okay, very good. So this is the equation that we gained or got from the table. Now it's time to fill in the graph. And once again, we don't have any labels or numbers, so we have to be pretty good at graphing ourselves by now. So first thing, let's label the x and y axis. The x-axis is the number of years. So x is the number of years. And the y-axis is the number of students. So number of students. Okay, now we need to label each one of these little tick marks. And the one thing you need to be sure of when you're labeling the tick marks is that you're counting by the same number for each tick mark. So if I decide to count by ones, I need to keep counting by ones for each one. So it would look something like this. And this will work for the number of years because the number of years start at 0 and just go to 5 on my table. So I just need to get 0 to 5 labeled on there. Now on my y-axis, I need numbers that go from 30 to 54. So I have to start at something a lot larger than 1. Why don't we label each one of these 10? So let's do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. So notice that we're counting by 5s. So there's an equal distance between each line. And I think we just need to go that far. Okay, last we need to plot the points. So this is our first point, 0, 24. So 0, 24 would be about right there. We're just guesstimating. Okay, then 1, 30 is right here. 2, 36 is about right there. 3, 42. 4, 48, and 5, 54. Okay, I can tell I filled in my table correctly because these points make a straight line. So my graph looks something like that. Okay, I apologize for the long video, but I hope that this will help you get through your assignment faster. So go ahead and move on to your next lesson example video that will help you with the second half of your assignment.